One night, a train enthusiast decided to film an oncoming train from an unusually close vantage point. While his choice was risky, standing just inches away from the passing train, what he captured afterward was even more startling. As the train rushed by, the man's camera continued rolling. In the moments following the train's passage, something unexpected appeared on the tracks. The Appalachian Mountains, where this incident took place, are known for their folklore about strange creatures. Could this video have captured one of these legendary beings? Or something paranormal even? A family's home security camera captured an unusual and scary event on the street outside their house. The video starts by showing a normal street scene with a parked car. Suddenly, a woman appears in the frame. She looks frightened, as if she's just seen something really scary in the distance. The woman rushes into her house, clearly trying to get away from whatever scares her. Just a few moments later, something very strange comes into view. It's hard to believe what the camera recorded. The video shows a figure that looks partly like a person, but also partly like an animal. It has legs that are bent in an odd way, and at the end of its legs, there seem to be hooves instead of feet. This made many people who watched the video feel confused and a bit scared. Some of the neighbors and people who saw the video online thought it might be a creature from stories they've heard. They wondered if it could be something called a nahal or a skinwalker. In some legends, these are beings that can change their shape from human to animal. Lots of people who watched the video left comments saying they've seen similar strange things in their own lives. It's really hard to know for sure what the camera actually recorded.
The next video was uploaded by paranormal investigation team Gang Gua Pi, located in Thailand. The group has been ghost hunting for around a year and often visits abandoned homes, lakes, forests and even caves. In this particular investigation, the group is visiting an abandoned house in a rural area. The reason for the house? The reason the house was left deserted was reportedly because of a tragedy that had taken place in the house. Understandably, nobody wanted to live in the home after that. The group begins their investigation by going through the rooms in the house, and it barely takes any time at all before something terrifying happens. Let's take a look. The men are exploring one of the bedrooms in the back of the house when they are startled by what they believe to be a shadow figure. Take a look at the shadow they capture. This certainly appears to be some sort of shadow creature. The glowing eyes and completely black figure are certainly creepy. What do you believe they may have captured? Is this a real spirit sighting or just a hoax? Now we want to look at the case of Francisco, who started to become a victim of something that would send shivers down anyone's spine. After moving into a new house, it became evident that an evil entity seemed to be dwelling in there. It's late at night and Francisco begins to hear strange noises outside of his room, and this is where this recording begins.
Empiezo a grabar porque estoy escuchando sonidos desde el baño muy raros. Y estoy solo en casa. coño?
All of a sudden, the curtain starts to move, indicating that someone might be behind it. However, in that very instant, the curtain falls, only to reveal that there was nothing and no one behind it. And this was just the beginning. A few days after, it escalated even more.
¿Se va a activar esto solo, tío? No se apaga. Se acaba de activar esto solo. Hola. Acabo de activar la cámara, chico, porque estoy escuchando sonidos de nuevo que vienen de la habitación. ¿Hola? ¿Qué es lo que quieres? ¿Hay alguien en mi casa? ¿Hay alguna entidad? Miren, chicos, miren. ¿Hola?
It started to move objects around the house now and was even able to open and close doors by itself. Not a good sign, to be honest.
Señora, estoy grabando porque estoy escuchando otra vez los sonidos. Escuche. ¿Qué cojones? Aquí ya. Coño. Se acaba de encender otra vez el aparato. ¿Volvió a encenderse eso? ¿Hola? Oye, soy un niño. ¿Qué cojones? No hay nadie.
Now, all of a sudden, the cries of a child started to be present in his house. And if that wasn't creepy enough, they seemed to be stemming right out of Francisco's bedroom.
¿Qué cojones? ¿Qué coño? ¿Qué cojones? No puedo creer. No lo puedo creer.
Francisco was so concerned that he even started contacting a local priest, and they exchanged messages about how to deal with this particular haunting in his home. The priest told him that this was a pretty dangerous situation, and that it sounded like the entity had attached itself to him, and unfortunately, there wasn't much the priest could do for him. And the following happened only a night after.
Eso. Eso.
A hand was visible at the edge of the curtain, and it appears that Francisco had managed to capture how it materialized, providing further evidence that what inhabited the house was completely real, perhaps even demonic. To this day, Francisco doesn't fully know what this thing is or what it wants from him, and the case is still ongoing. We now turn our attention to the unsettling case of Katie Santry, a homeowner who found herself in the midst of a deeply disturbing situation after moving into her new residence. The catalyst of this series of events was the discovery of a rolled-up carpet in her backyard, a mysterious find that would soon herald a string of inexplicable occurrences. What makes Santry's case particularly intriguing is its multifaceted nature. While the initial discovery raises obvious questions from a criminal investigation standpoint, subsequent events suggest that there might be more to this case than meets the eye. Let's take a look at her video diary in which she started documenting this case.
Was the door shut?
Yeah,
How deep is that? Like at least 2 feet?
almost, yeah.
Oh, right now. I bet you would.
I think my house is haunted and I'm freaking out. Like I'm literally shaking. This is my sunroom. This is where I work. I sit here every day. There's a playroom here, doors here. This is the space. I worked in here last night until about 6:30. Everything was fine. Shut my laptop. We close these doors. The dogs don't come in here at night. No one is in this room. I'm down this morning to work. The screen shattered. This stuff down here. This hanging off. For me is that this that only goes on this shelf and only goes on this shelf ever up here. Why? I've never put it there. I don't put it here. My phone sits there when I work. Why was that there? Here's the next bit of important information. So we're building a fence and back here we dug a hole. There is a rolled up carpet buried underground that we came across as we were digging this hole. Rolled up carpet. And why the is there a rolled up carpet underground?
A very good question. While some people speculated that it probably is just a pet that might have been buried by the previous owner after its passing, Katie updated us soon after this upload with the recent turn of events.
Okay, so a tree was planted above the rug. And it is called a bloodgood because this was in the hole. They planted a bloodgood tree on top of a rug. Why? Something that also feels important as a detail to let you know that I found to be so weird in this whole fiasco of did a ghost up last night. This morning, my stepson, I heard him call his dad in and say, hey, like this is so weird. When I went to bed, my phone was at 100% on the charger and he woke up and it was at 3%. And now I have all these people saying that like ghosts steal energy and that's like how they. And what are the odds that the same night that his phone just randomly goes from 100 to 3% is the same night my computer gets broken and stuff gets moved around, all while digging up a potential dead body in my backyard. I don't know what to do.
At this point, the idea of a dead family animal in the yard went out of the window for many people, and a lot of her viewers started to really get invested in this case. The day later, the following was posted.
I accidentally went viral for thinking my house is haunted and I left you all on a cliffhanger and I'm very sorry. Hi, my name's Katie and this room right here, I think a ghost is angry at me because I went to bed and everything was fine. I come down the next morning, my desk is a disaster and my computer shattered. First theory, so maybe someone tried to break in. No, our alarm was set. That did not happen. Second theory is that the carpet that happens to be 2.5 feet underground potentially holds a dead body. And, you know, that's kind of where I'm sitting because I can't get it out. The carpet is too big and too long. And yeah, it's just stuck there and it's going to stay there because we can't get it. I need an excavator. And it's digging into my fire pit, my stone fire pit. And I really like that area. And that's where we'd have to pretty much go to try to keep getting this rug out. And I'm not going to do it. So we're just going to pack that dirt right back down and hope that little ghost isn't mad at me anymore and leaves my computer alone once I get it back from Apple. And yeah, lets it be. So, okay, I finally did it. I called the police. They're sending someone here. I called and I said, hey, I don't know if this matters, but there is a rug buried underground at my house, a few feet under, and a few people I know, you guys, and actually 2 police officers who I know who are not actually in this county but other counties have suggested I call you. And she told me she's going to send a police officer over here. So TBD. I don't know what happens next.
Turns out that after receiving a lot of concerned messages on her profile and some advice from friends who were police officers, Katie had to take this case a bit more serious than she had initially anticipated. So, as she promised, she called the police over to check out the creepy find in her backyard.
Cops are here.
Oh, yeah, I see that. It's like a tassel. It's like the end of it. Jeez, I don't even know. Carpet's fine.
I was just say it's not, 6 feet long.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, there's just something like weird. Okay, so first, the cops also think it's weird as and they were like talking about calling homicide. They were talking about how they'd have to get excavators out here. Like, they were fully invested just as much as we all are. And then he was like, okay, let me call my boss man and we will figure out what to do. And I was like, oh my God, they're gonna call homicide? This is what I'm gonna be in my own episode of true crime. R.I.P. Truly. R.I.P. But holy shit, would that not be kind of cool? Anyways, basically what was decided is that they cannot put resources into something that they don't know what it is. And it is up to me if I decide that I want to finish digging it out. And if there's something there, I can call them. And I'm sorry to leave it there, but that's going to be that, guys, because I cannot keep digging this out. If someone has tools and shovels and wants to come to my house in Columbus, feel free to help. Otherwise, mystery remains.
But of course, Katie and her family were way too curious to leave it at that. And her invested audience also didn't exactly help to let this case rest in peace, so to speak.
You need an excavator out here to get that, most likely.
Potentially, yeah.
You guys all keep telling me just to like go dig it out. It's not that easy, okay? It is so deep. Let me show you again. For everyone saying it's burlap, it's it. And I think it goes back that way. Also, to everyone who's really upset about us cutting down this tree, same. The cop also pointed out how expensive the tree is and that we destroyed it. I know. It's not been a good day. Our theory is that they're gonna go home, back to the office, and start looking up cold cases. And maybe there was something in the vicinity and they'll come knocking and they'll be like, actually, we've decided we want to dig that up. This was his idea. He came up with this one, and I think it could stick. We're back and we're digging. You guys weren't ready for us to be done. You refused to let it sleep. I have so many volunteers saying that they'll come and help us because, I mean, I may end up taking you up on that offer depending on how this goes, since the police did say this may require an excavator, and we don't have an excavator. Don't hate me, because this is not going to get done tonight. It is not going to get done tonight, but we are starting the process. If this does happen to require volunteers, I expect all of you to show up and show out. And I saw a lot of people say that maybe they should have like sent a cadaver dog over here, and I think that would have been a great idea. Okay, look at that. We're one step closer. I know that pained the heart of you Japanese maple tree lovers, but we're gonna get another one implanted, don't worry. That didn't put in the dent that we were hoping it would, so we really may need more resources.
So, this night they finally were able to remove the little maple tree, which should make work way easier for them to prepare for uncovering what's inside this old rock, right?
Good morning, millions of you who are invested. So, I did not anticipate this to pop off the way that it did. Honestly, the timing kind of sucks because I'm going out of town for work today. But holy, update number one, I do have people volunteering to potentially bring an excavator of some sort. But here is where I'm thinking I might need more of a psychic than an excavator. While the police were here yesterday, looking at the carpet and deciding what to do, he mentioned that he was the one who came when the next door neighbor died. My neighbor died in their house, and she can't haunt a house that is literally destroyed, right? Like, she gonna haunt, that's no fun. That would be boring. Why not haunt the next door neighbor? The same day that my computer gets broken and my desk gets strewn about, they started boarding up the dead lady's house. It feels sus. It feels like, hey, if they're gonna board up my house, I'm just gonna hop over to the next house and haunt them their day up. And they also just started digging up a rug, so like, this will be so fun. If I was a ghost and I was a dead lady who had no family, because the cop told me she also had no family, so she has no one better to haunt. If I was her, I would haunt me. That would be fun. Is it the neighbor? Is it my dead neighbor that died the day I moved into this house, mind you? Dead neighbor dies the day I move into this house. The day they're boarding up her house, my computer gets shattered. And she has no family. She has no one better to haunt.
While it might be a plausible story that ghosts can't haunt a house that doesn't exist anymore, many stories and legends tell us otherwise. I also believe that ghosts and spirits can stay bound to a space in time, not to a building. But who exactly knows for sure? Now to her next update.
So here's what I need. I need people in or around Columbus, Ohio to help me find a cadaver dog and or ground penetration radar, because I have decided I cannot financially, mentally, or physically handle the responsibility of digging up a potentially 6-foot long rug that is 2.5 feet down in my ground. I am, however, ready and prepared to take on the task if there is potentially a dead body and I get to be in a living episode of true crime. But we need some more information. I have also been contacted by a psychic who we are going to have a nice little reading on Wednesday and see if maybe that gives us some answers. But, you know, that's not concrete. It's great. It's not concrete. So I decided to do some virtual digging before we dug up my yard anymore, and here's what I found. My house was built in 1967, and from all the research I have done on the Franklin County Auditor site, before me, only one family has owned this home. So then obviously, I looked into the family, and they seem very nice, very normal. The house doesn't seem to have ever been used as a rental. I talked to the next door neighbor, who also agreed that the family was very kind, very normal. I've looked into the cadaver dog option, and from everything I have seen, the police have to order it. I have reached out to 4 different cadaver canine units in Columbus, Ohio, and they have all said that they cannot deploy dogs unless ordered by the police. We had the police come. They came, they saw, they didn't give a. When they gave a ring-a-ling-ding to the chief officer, he said, "We are not deploying any resources." So here we land. There is a rug underground, but we don't know why. And honestly, we might never know why, because I've already destroyed a tree that's apparently worth $1,000, and I just can't do any more damage to my home without just cause. The only thing I can commit to is leaving it be. If someone comes to me with a canine dog, sure. If someone comes to me with ground penetrating radar, come on over. Or if this psychic tomorrow tells me that the person who broke my laptop is buried in the ground, then maybe. The case may be coming to a close. I found the listing agent online. I called her. I said, "Hi, my name's Katie. I have a very strange thing to tell you." And I told her. And I said, "Do you have TikTok?" And so here's what's happening. She happens to be best friends with the daughter of the family who owned the home. So either this daughter, who knows, could potentially, be like, "I don't know, there's not a body there." But we should have answers. I told her exactly what tree. I told her where the rug is. I told her what was happening. She is calling her as we speak. And she's going to let me know. I sent her the TikTok. She's like, "What in the hell is going on?" "I don't know, lady." And she just said, "A dog? But that deep and that long?" We're all questioning it. Get the answers from the daughter. We should know soon.
At this point, it was a bit unclear in what direction the case would move from here on out. After talking to the daughter of the previous owners, Katie was hoping for some clarity regarding this case. So after the realtor was talking to the owner's daughter, the following is what came out of it.
The realtor has talked to the daughter. The daughter does not know what the rug is. She also asked her about dead dogs and cats and hamsters, and she said they had many dogs and they were all cremated. So she does not think there is a buried dog. So what is going to happen next? She is going to drive her to the nursing home where her 90 and 95-year-old mother and father live and berate them for the answers for us. She is going to see what they know, and if they know what is in the rug and why the rug is there. I think the real estate agent that I was talking to is also highly invested at this point. But at the end of the day, the daughter's got a job to do, and so she can't go to the nursing home until tonight. Guys, I went from hard labor to hard liquor, because I will now be the cheerleader for the dig, brought to you by HDL Construction in Hilliard, Ohio. Obviously, we will stream this live, and then there will be a final reveal video posted, and so tune in if your heart desires. 4:30 EST. That is when the crew will be here. That is when we will start digging. I was actually just out at the hole because People Magazine needed some pictures, and I truly can't tell which direction it goes. I'm so curious.
It is a bit unclear what had happened in between this and the last video update, as I could not find any other video on what had led to the now decided excavation of the rug. But apparently a company was ordered to finally start with the digging in their backyard. This update was from yesterday, and Katie's plans were to stream the excavation live. The same day, Katie also heard back from the homicide department.
Oh my God. Okay. I just got off the phone with homicide. They just called me. They are sending detectives and cadaver dogs here in the next hour. Oh my God. I saw my phone ringing and it said Columbus Police. I said, this is weird. I answered the phone. He says, hi, this is Detective Corn Nuts. I don't know what his name was. I forgot. I started to black out. We heard about your situation, and I don't know why the police, I don't know who they called, but they did not call homicide because we want to come. We want to take a look at this rug. He said, if the dogs do note something, your house is about to become a fiasco. And I said, I would assume such. So yeah, within the next hour, homicide detectives and cadaver dogs are going to be here in my backyard. And he said, as long as they do not note to human remains, then we can proceed with the dig at 4:30 p.m. EST. Oh my God.
And as promised, shortly after, the detectives actually show up at their house.
The detectives are here. They've arrived. Some of them are in suits. They've got bags, backpacks, equipment. They're here. Okay, I am so sorry to have left you hanging all night, but my whole house is now caution taped off. If you were not watching the live, both dogs sat on the hole. So the dogs run separately. So the first dog came out and the dog sat, and audible gasp, absolute shock. I thought that this was the end of everything today, and the second dog comes out, sniffs around, and sat. I will splice the video together, but I still have reporters at my house. Cops are staying here overnight. Crime scene investigators come tomorrow and start to dig, and that's all I know right now, essentially. Okay, so I'm sitting outside with my friends, who were actually the ones that were here for the dig party, and trying to decompress from everything that's happened. My anxiety is so high, and I cried on TikTok Live with 100,000 people, and I'm going to insert here the video of the dogs marking. It was already on live, and that's why I'm basically going to share everything that is already out there in the world. Oh my God. Oh my God. So that is the dogs hitting, both dogs hitting on the hole. And basically from there, everything went to... I was terrified, losing my mind. I started to cry. I asked the cops if I need a lawyer. They are very aware that I'm the one who called, and they have no concerns that it was me. So if there's anyone sitting here thinking I did this, I certainly did not. They said that there's still a chance that this rug just could have blood on it. It doesn't necessarily mean there is a body in my backyard. This could be someone got a bloody nose. It could be anything.
Now, obviously, Katie was extremely freaked out at this point and told us that her anxiety was through the roof. She had shared the event live on her TikTok, and hundreds of thousands of people became witness to the dogs clearly signaling that there might be some kind of organic material in the ground. Shaken to the core, Katie uploaded the moments that unfolded right after the live stream had ended. And when she was talking to her neighbor,
Whatever she's gonna say, I hung up because I don't want to ask the police to need a lawyer when the dogs alerted. So I'm talking to, there's 121.4 thousand people that just watched two dogs both sit on the rug. This is insane. This is crazy. Okay.
It might not mean anything yet.
Okay.
Wait and see what the interpretation of the results are.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. I understand that it looks you're up. I can see you're pretty excited over this, but we just got to say
Terrified, or I don't.
until we know what they're saying.
Okay. Like, this is so crazy because while there's like two huge things happening simultaneously that are also related but unrelated, there's still police surrounding my house and potential of digging up something that is going to change a lot of people's lives. And that's overwhelming. So I'm still hopeful, and the police that I talked to yesterday said that there's a good chance that it's not a body, which just sounds absurd to say, because when I started all of this, it was a joke of like, who broke my computer? It must be the body in the rug. If this hadn't all happened, none of this would happen. So I again have to say, if something comes of this today and someone is found, that is solely because...
Clearly, nobody suspected that the search would actually reveal that something was off with this rug. What started as a fun little ghost story now even got the local media involved. Today, Katie updated us with some more police activity that was unfolding just a bit earlier, and they were just about to start the excavation.
Okay, so everybody's here. There's a tent set up, and there's 9 police officers and CSI in the backyard. I'll show you, they've blocked how far I'm allowed to even go, and they're bringing equipment in now. So they put this up outside so that I cannot get any further. They've got a tent and a bunch of people bringing in a bunch of stuff. Okay, they're digging. They've been digging. And there's 6 of them. Some of them are in the hole. My Windex. I had to clean my windows so that I could watch. And we still don't know anything. The dogs could have had a bad day, had an off scent, the wind, the rain, who knows? They told me that all the rain that Ohio's had from can like reinvigorate smells. And now this girl's famous for nothing. And that the dogs they were confused. They were tired. It was 5:30. They had a long work day and they were confused.
The crew started to dig, and the whole process apparently took several hours. Katie was a bit unnerved as the crew suddenly aborted the digging, and she was concerned that something was really wrong.
Okay. I'm sorry that this is delayed, but I don't know what's going on, but they did just stop digging. There's 15 of them, and they're just kind of all standing around like, I don't know if they're thinking about next steps. I don't know what's happening, but they're all just kind of standing around. That's where we're at. They're just kind of looking in the hole, and they've paused. But the amount of dirt and digging that has happened. One guy's on the phone. I don't know. That's what I know. And here's what it looks like from my perspective. They're coming out from the back.
As of the making of this video, this was the last update on Katie's profile, but as luck would have it, an hour later I stumbled over the tail end of another livestream in which apparently the police told her that it might have been a false alarm and that the dogs might have been confused that day. But how do we explain the paranormal events in her home? We will keep our eyes open and see if the visit of the medium will bring more needed answers to this case. How spooky. And just as I was finishing up the video, she posted another update after the live stream had ended.
And this has been the most absurd, insane experience of my life. What did they find? No, they didn't find a body. They found a mother effing rug with some rubber. The question remains of why did the dogs hit? I don't know. both dogs, not just one, two. I don't know. The other question remains is who broke my laptop? There's people across the street. I don't know. I'm so confused. There's no body. Honestly, do I need a psychic to come to my house? I don't know.
I think it's pretty certain to say that we will stay tuned concerning any paranormal revelations.
The following clip has been posted by a user called dstock95, and he starts the thread by saying, "During a power outage in an isolated town I was living in for work, I took a video after noticing all the cars had stopped on the road. I couldn't even hear them running. When the internet came back and a snap sent by a friend said, 'At least you weren't alone.' But I was. I've had multiple paranormal experiences, but this is the only one I've caught that still makes people shiver. So what had happened?"
Bruh.
People seem to see a figure sitting at the counter in front of the candle. Can you see it? The interesting part is, D-Stock responds with, "There was actually no chairs there. There was an L-shaped countertop that I used for food prep. It looks to me as though someone is standing there and leaning on the counter. All I know is no one was in the house besides me, as I also have a video of me stubbing my toe on the way to the door. And in that video, nothing is there. What do you guys think? Is it a paranormal apparition? Or is it just a confusing effect caused by the candles?"
This is another really strange video of a security camera, which was monitored by a security guard. He was looking at the camera system, which was surveilling the museum he was working in. He stated that he saw a weird shadow walking around, which initially caught his attention, and he started recording it off of his screen. There were some people enjoying the exhibition still. However, the semi-transparent shape seemed to pop up randomly. He had never seen something like that before. There was also a strange orb. In the end, it's not really clear what was captured that day.
If you found this video creepy, check out the following one.